Caitlin Clark flagrantly fouled Angel Reese.
Let's talk about Caitlin Clark's hard foul. Angel Reese gets the ball. Caitlin Clark goes over, does a hard foul, commits a hard foul on Angel Reese.
Angel Reese acted like a total and complete idiot, and it got called out for it.
This is a basketball play.
Tempers just exploded on the court, and Angel Reese is at the center of it all. After a hard foul from Caitlin Clark,
Angel Reese went absolutely, utterly berserk on Caitlin Clark, and I knew there was going to be a bunch of fallout from that. We've got a little video showing Aaliyah Boston. She did not even realize she got a technical foul.
Reese completely lost it, sparking chaos, controversy, and a wave of backlash that's now shaking the entire WNBA. From on-court drama to off-court outrage, things have spiraled fast. Fans are demanding punishments.
They're demanding all of those players leave. They're tagging the commissioner and demanding the Fever are punished. They're demanding Caitlin Clark be kicked out of the league.
Calling for bans and accusing each other of hate. But was this really just a basketball play, or is something deeper going on?
Fever fans are getting called into question today. They're talking about there should be a boycott. That's what it really is of the All-Star game over player safety.
Buckle up, because this story is bigger than just a flagrant foul. It's a firestorm.
Pay attention here. Caitlin pointed, a little hard foul there. Angel Reese gets up. Aaliyah Boston shoves her, gives her a little stiffy. Hey, don't come at Caitlin. But look at her. Angel Reese upset. Oh my gosh. Hey man, this was hilarious. Look, Angel Reese was pissed. Look at her. She was still going out there a little bit. Look, took the jersey out.
ESPN anti-Caitlin Clark agenda on full display. Going on and on about how that needs to be a flagrant foul.
All started with what many are calling a take foul. Caitlin Clark, racing back on defense to stop an easy layup, reached out and committed a hard foul on Angel Reese. It was the kind of play you see in every high-stakes game, physical, strategic, and designed to prevent an easy basket. But this time, the reaction was anything but ordinary.
It's unbelievable. This is another view right here of Angel just really dropping F-bombs. I think she says, you're effing crazy, something like that, blah, blah, blah. You crazy as F. What the F is wrong with you?
Aaliyah Boston steps in and stops Angel Reese.
Angel Reese didn't just absorb the foul and head to the free throw line. She snapped. Within seconds, the tension boiled over. Reese, clearly furious, got up and charged toward Clark.
Basketball play, refs got it right. Go on.
She just said basketball play, refs got it right.
Words were exchanged, emotions flared, and the referees immediately stepped in, assessing a flagrant foul on Caitlin Clark and technical fouls on multiple players, including Aaliyah Boston.
You got the flagrant. Aaliyah, you got a technical. What could have happened there?
If you got the tech? I know.
Wait, what?
I got the tech?
I did not.
Oh, first of all.
No.
Let's not make it anything that it's not. It was just a good play on the basketball. I'm not sure what the refs saw to upgrade it, and that's up to their discretion after watching.
Who hilariously didn't even know she'd been hit with one. Reese's outburst wasn't just intense. It was the turning point that ignited a storm of reactions across social media and sports media. Robert Griffin III didn't mince words.
After watching Caitlin Clark's flagrant foul on Angel Reese in the aftermath, there's no way Angel Reese can continue to lie that she doesn't dislike Caitlin Clark. I know what hatred looks like. Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, not some basketball rivalry.
He went on record saying there's no way Angel Reese can keep pretending she doesn't dislike Caitlin Clark. In his words, Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. This isn't just basketball, this is personal. And honestly, it looked that way on the court. Reese's reaction didn't match the level of the foul. It wasn't a cheap shot, it wasn't violent, it was a routine stop. And yet it led to what one commentator described as Angel Reese going absolutely berserk. The escalation was shocking, but what followed was even more disturbing.
Indiana Fever fans were yelling racial slurs where there were television mics down by the court. I don't believe it. They would have gotten thrown out of the arena.
Or more accurately, fanatics began spewing the most vile hate online. The incident opened the floodgates for attacks that had nothing to do with basketball and everything to do with race, resentment, and personal grudges. Suddenly, a flagrant foul turned into a full-blown cultural flashpoint. This wasn't just a reaction to a hard play. This was a war of narratives. Clark was accused of dirty tactics. Reese was praised by some, vilified by others, and the divide only grew wider. What should have been a tough but forgettable moment became the latest spark in an already tense rivalry, one that now threatens to overshadow the sport itself. The reaction wasn't limited to the court. It exploded online like wildfire. What began as a simple take foul spiraled into one of the ugliest fan-led controversies in recent WNBA history.
Angel Reese supporters are losing cabin pressure as we speak. It is ugly. Some of the most vile, hateful things I've ever seen are being said on Twitter X.
The moment Angel Reese went off on Caitlin Clark, social media erupted. Hashtags trended. Think pieces poured in. And the backlash? It was relentless and disturbingly personal. Across platforms like X, formerly Twitter, fans began pushing a narrative that went far beyond basketball.
Every black woman should be pissed off right now. No one even wants to talk about, I wonder how does Sid Colson and Breonna Turner and Kelsey Mitchell, AB, feel. That black woman is the one that's made out to be the villain. That black woman is the one that's being disrespected by your fans in your house. And you're a black woman and you got a shucking job for these bitches.
Angel Reese's supporters accused Indiana Fever fans of racism, claiming that racially charged animal noises were played in the arena while Reese was at the free throw line. The claim? That the Fever crowd, or someone in the organization, had inserted offensive sound effects specifically to target Reese.
I have seen a lot of posts accusing Dave Portnoy of making that sound. And the thing is that he was sitting courtside. He stood up, and when Angel Reese missed the layup, he did yell something.
But here's the truth. Those sounds, they weren't what people claimed. It was a Flight Reacts meme sound effect, a high-pitched laugh, one often used at Pacers games, and it sounded vaguely like a dolphin. The arena DJ played it while Angel Reese was at the line, but there was zero evidence it was racially motivated.
This is a common foul. It's already a GIF. Angel didn't try to swing at Caitlin. Wait, how do you call a T on Caitlin for walking away? How do you call a double T on Angel and Aaliyah, surely?
Still, that didn't stop the outrage. The internet did what it does best. It ran with an unverified story and transformed it into fact.
If you've looked at Twitter, there are posts with 20,000 likes claiming that the Indiana Fever played the noises of a specific animal while Angel Reese was shooting free throws.
Major voices on social media accused the Indiana Fever of orchestrating the noise. Some claimed Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports was behind it. Others demanded Commissioner Kathy Engelbert resign over what they labeled a hostile and dangerous environment for black players. There were even calls for Caitlin Clark to be suspended or banned from the league entirely, all based on a sound effect and a heated moment between two players. But it didn't stop there. Angel Reese's fans went after Fever supporters in droves, accusing them of being complicit in hate. They called for the Fever to lose home games, to play without crowds, and even to be kicked out of the WNBA entirely. One tweet with thousands of likes demanded a lifetime ban for Portnoy, not for any confirmed action, but for simply criticizing Reese's behavior and calling it classless. The line between fair commentary and cancel culture was completely obliterated.
There was no need for Angel Reese to jump up and try chase down Caitlin Clark after a relatively hard foul.
And then came the personal attacks. Transcript after transcript shows that critics of Angel Reese, even those speaking objectively, were flooded with hate. One YouTuber revealed that fans wishing death on him and his terminally ill wife just because he made videos critiquing Reese's on-court behavior. That's how deep this hostility runs. This isn't just fandom, it's fanaticism. Even other players weren't safe. Names like Aaliyah Boston, Natasha Howard, and DeWanna Bonner were thrown into the mix. One comment thread accused them of being sellouts for not standing up for Reese or for simply being affiliated with the Fever. Skin color was weaponized. Every action, or lack of action, was seen as betrayal. Black players who didn't back Reese were condemned as traitors. The conversation spiraled from basketball to race, from sportsmanship to warfare.
It has to be an issue because Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky got their asses handed by the Indiana Fever.
The entire Indiana Fever fan base, thousands of people, including families, kids, people of every race and background, was labeled as complicit in hate because of one out-of-context noise.
This is an unfair narrative that's going to be attached to Caitlin Clark. People come out here and get spanked. They're just going to cry and throw their hands up about racism. It's like, no, this is not racism. This is basketball. This is one team busting another team's ass. This is a white player in Caitlin Clark who largely always says the right thing, who is largely inoffensive.
And a moment of frustration on the court. It didn't matter that there was no video, no audio proof, no misconduct caught on tape. The accusation itself was enough to spark a digital firestorm. All of this chaos stems from a single foul that could have been settled with a few free throws and a post-game handshake. But instead, it unleashed a mob mentality that targeted not only Caitlin Clark, but an entire franchise, its fans, and even neutral commentators. The backlash is not just disproportionate, it's dangerous. When fans use false narratives to fuel real hatred, it poisons the sport. It distracts from the game and puts players under attack for things that have nothing to do with their performance. And worst of all, it creates a culture where facts no longer matter. Only feelings do.
Like, they soft-hedged every single screen rule. So, like, if you watch this here, first play of the game, Caitlin comes off that Ariel Atkins, Caitlin hits it.
As the smoke from the foul and fan backlash continued to thicken, something even more insidious came into focus. The blatant double standards and media bias that have infected the entire WNBA narrative. What should have been a basketball moment, a tough foul, a passionate reaction, has become a lens revealing how differently two players are judged, criticized, and defended, simply because of who they are and what they represent to different groups of people. Let's be clear, this isn't the first time Caitlin Clark has taken a hard hit. In fact, she's been the target of multiple flagrant and borderline violent fouls all season long. From Kennedy Carter's blindside shove that sent her crashing to the court to Diamond DeShield's cheap shot last season, Clark has endured hit after hit, with barely a fraction of the outrage we've seen after her foul on Reese. In most cases, the narrative was flipped. Clark was told to toughen up, to stop whining, to learn the WNBA way. And yet, the moment Clark commits one hard foul, not a dirty play, not a cheap shot, but a calculated take foul, all hell breaks loose. Media outlets suddenly want to talk about violence in women's basketball. Fans scream for Clark to be suspended, and Twitter explodes with hashtags calling for justice. How does that make sense? When she gets hit, she's told to take it. But when she delivers a foul in return, she's painted as a villain. This double standard is further deepened by the media's role in shaping public perception. WNBA coverage has increasingly taken sides, and many outlets aren't even hiding it. When Angel Reese stat-padded her way to streaks of double-doubles last season, often with teams intentionally fouling to keep her numbers alive, the media celebrated her hustle and grit. She was hailed as a new face of the league, someone who plays with swagger and edge. But when Caitlin Clark, who dropped a triple-double while dominating every aspect of the game, plays an extra minute to secure a historic stat line, she's accused of stat padding and being selfish. Never mind that her passes led to wide-open layups or that her teammates missed shots that would have easily broken the assist record. The media didn't care about that. They twisted the narrative into something ugly. One reporter even accused her of manipulating her stats to look good, as if being the third fastest player in league history to record multiple triple-doubles wasn't enough. And
Caitlin Clark met the criteria for flagrant 1 for the wind-up, impact and follow-through and the extension of the left hand to Reese's back, which is deemed to be not a legitimate basketball play, therefore deemed necessary contact after the foul. There's a physical taunt, technical on Boston, and verbal technical on Reese, which offset. Okay.
Let's not forget the critics who mock her for only playing well in 10-minute stretches, while ignoring that those 10 minutes often decide the entire game. The third quarter against Chicago, Clark owned it. She carved up the defense, dropped dimes, hit long threes, and turned the game into a blowout. But instead of praise, she got nitpicked, dissected, and diminished again. Meanwhile, Angel Reese was lauded for being solid, despite her team collapsing around her and her own role in inciting the drama. When she went after Clark after the foul, many commentators applauded her for showing passion and fire. But let's imagine for a moment if the roles were reversed. If Caitlin Clark had stood up and screamed in Angel's face after a foul, would it have been celebrated as intensity or condemned as arrogance? You already know the answer. This bias bleeds into the coaching decisions and even player treatment on the court.
Caitlin Clark recorded the first triple-double in a season opener in WNBA history.
Caitlin Clark, a triple-double, 20 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds. Angel Reese, 17 boards, 12 points in a losing effort. Gets a double-double, they're gonna lose the game. She shot 35% from the field.
Caitlin Clark now has the third most triple-doubles in WNBA history because she is that damn good.
Coaches who devise schemes to stop Clark often have to sacrifice key offensive weapons just to slow her down. Ariel Atkins, one of the top scorers for the Sky, was benched from offense just to stay glued to Clark on defense. It worked briefly until they gave Atkins a break. Then Clark took over the game like a surgeon. But what did the headlines say? That the Sky lost because of coaching? No, they blamed Clark for breaking the game. It gets even worse when you look at the racial angle being force-fed into this debate. Some voices in the media and on social media have twisted every piece of criticism against Angel Reese or any other black player into racism, while completely ignoring the targeted hate Clark has received all season. Let's be honest. Clark has been hit, pushed, elbowed, screamed at, dismissed, mocked, and belittled, all in her rookie season. And yet, when she pushes back, suddenly the accusations come flying. She's a dirty player, a villain, a symbol of privilege. Meanwhile, Angel Reese has publicly embraced the villain role, wearing it like a badge of honor. But now when the heat turns on her, she wants to pivot to the victim. 1 minute she's flashing gestures in opponents' faces and saying she's doing it for the culture. The next she wants sympathy and protection from criticism. You can't have it both ways. The WNBA's leadership hasn't helped either. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has stayed quiet amid escalating tensions, refusing to call out the clear double standards and the toxic online behavior targeting Clark. Worse, the league seems to fear holding players like Reese accountable. Why? Because they're afraid of the backlash, of being called out by the loudest voices on social media. So instead, they let the drama fester. They let narratives harden. And they allow real stars like Caitlin Clark to be thrown to the wolves. This isn't about race. It's not about rivalry. It's about fairness. And right now, the WNBA isn't even pretending to play fair. When a rookie white player is expected to silently take abuse, while others are shielded from accountability, the league isn't growing. It's crumbling under bias. And fans see it. That's why the controversy over this foul exploded. Because it's not just about that moment. It's about everything leading up to it. The pressure, the hypocrisy, the hate. And now the league has a choice. Face the truth and fix the narrative, or let this double standard become the story that defines them. What happened?
Like Caitlin Clark spoke about rivalries. Let's play this.
You guys love it, that's for sure.
Rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, you guys love it, that's for sure. But I told Michael this yesterday. I was like, rivalry is great for sport. Like, I understand that. I grew up loving rivalries. Like, I grew up in Iowa State. That's like a pro matchup in the state of Iowa. Like, I understand that. Or whether it was my high school team, like, I still hate a rival high school, Valley High School. Sorry, I'm sure there's a lot of people from Valley High School that love me and support me now. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys. But I wasn't your biggest fan. I didn't like the Tigers growing up. So my parents, my grandfather was the football coach growing up, and Valley was our biggest rival. It was the biggest class in Iowa. And I was taught to, growing up, if we were driving by the high school, to hold my breath because I couldn't breathe that air. Like, I know it's kind of funny, but like, rivalry is always a big thing. So I think it's more than anything, like, as a player, you approach the game the same every single time, or you should. That's how you should approach every single game. You prepare the same way. You come ready to play, whether it's the the team that's last in the league or the team that's first in the league. It doesn't matter. I think for the fans, it's great. They love it. And I mean, Chicago is the closest team to us. You know, we bust there usually, so I get it geographically. But I think for our team and our group, it's, you know, we prepare the same way every single game. But I expect today to be an awesome game.
Happened on that court wasn't just about a foul. It was about everything bubbling beneath the surface, finally exploding. Angel Reese went off. Caitlin Clark stood her ground. The fans turned on each other. And the media, they added fuel to the fire. But in the end, the question we should be asking isn't who committed the foul. It's why the WNBA keeps letting moments like this define the league. If this sport wants to grow, it can't keep playing favorites. It can't punish one player for being too successful while protecting another for being too loud.
Caitlin Clark is phenomenal. She is somebody like we have never seen before.
You guys are lucky you have Caitlin Clark. You are lucky you have the Indiana Fever.
There has to be room for competition and fairness, passion, and accountability. Otherwise, all we're left with is chaos and a game buried beneath drama. Let us know what you think. Did Angel Reese go too far? Was Caitlin Clark's foul really that bad? And is the WNBA becoming more about storylines than basketball? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you believe the truth matters, and don't forget to subscribe for more real talk. Until next time, stay sharp, stay honest, and stay in the game.